Hi all, Mr. Galan here. Today we're going to learn how to paint with watercolors. So in this first image you'll notice this is my sketch, and in the next image you'll notice that I erased most of my lines so that the pencil doesn't mix with my paint. I'm laying down some wet paint on dry paper, so this would be wet on dry technique, adding like a light yellow wash, and then what I'm doing now is adding more wet paint with the red, but has a lot of water in it, so it's turning pink. And then I'm going to add another layer of a reddish brown color, and you'll notice those two dots I made, I dripped those on and they kind of bled out. That technique would be wet on wet. So now I'm adding some cooler colors in the eyebrows, like green. And I'm going to make sure that I try and keep the edges of the eyebrows lighter than the centers of them. So another really important part was dry. I waited for my painting to dry for about 10 minutes, or you can use a blow dryer. It's really important for you to work in stages. So I waited for my painting to dry for 10 minutes. The paper was completely dry, and now I'm going back in with my second layer of color. So now I'm starting to do more fine details, like work in the eyes. I've mixed red and blue together to create a purplish color for the white of the eye, and then I mixed blue with brown to create black, because I don't have black on my palette. And that'll create a nice dark color for the dark eyes that I'm painting. Now, something to consider is that when you're drawing your sketch and you're doing your painting, you just want to make sure before you start that you don't have your eyes too close together. And for me in this video, I feel like I made my eyes a little too close together. And so later on you'll see that I'll use some color pencils to kind of erase the tear ducts a little bit so they aren't as close together, and that'll help. But make sure before you start painting that you really have an eye, the width of one eye, in between both your eyes. It's better to have your eyes further apart than closer together in paintings. Okay. So notice how on the eyebrow I kept the outer part of the eyebrow slightly lighter. That was one of the tips I gave us in the PowerPoint. I also made the arch, that pit, that shadow underneath your eyebrow and in the socket of your eye just above your eyelids. It's pretty dark in there, so I added a slightly darker value in there. It's kind of up to you if you want to do that or not, but it'll kind of bring dimension to the shape of those eyes. So notice how I worked throughout the whole painting. I'm never just working in one specific spot, right? I've worked on both eyes at the same time. If I add one color to one eye, I'm going to add it to the other eye as well. And working throughout your painting also gives time for your watercolor to dry in certain places. So now here you can see how I'm going back into my image, and I've got a white color pencil, and I'm just slightly erasing part of those tear ducts, making them a little bit brighter to kind of make my eyes look further apart. I'm also using my white pencil to create little highlights in my eyes. If you don't have a color pencil, you can always use either a white gel pen or maybe some white paint, acrylic paint or tempera paint. Adding in some eyelashes. Now this is a self-portrait of my own eyes, so whenever you're painting a man's eyes, you want to try and make those eyelashes less prominent, and that'll make them look more masculine. If you're painting a woman or a girl, you can always accentuate those eyes. to make them look more feminine. But it's kind of up to you. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.